Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of NFIHammer. This episode's a little bit different because I have visited my local Warhammer store and I picked up a couple of different paints. This technical Ardcoat and this Stormvermin Fur. So there's a local Warhammer store directly underneath where I work, and I think it's a big part of why I actually started looking into this hobby was that, I walked past it and subliminally it was advertising to me every day. So I went in and I checked it out, and everyone's really friendly and nice. They gave me this Battle Honours book that comes with some pretty sweet rewards, and some people in the comments have also said that you can get free models, but I don't know how that all works. So if anyone has any idea what they're doing and how it all fits together, feel free to leave a comment below. So I got this hard coat glaze because I wanted to try it out on these gemstones. So this is the Necorn Overloard. Check out the video above if you haven't seen this before, but it was the most complicated model I've ever tried to attempt to put together. One thing I wasn't really happy with was these gemstones. They kind of looked a bit matte and kind of not very gemstony, if that's a word. And I heard that you can put this glaze, which is a gloss kind of glaze that makes it shiny, and you can put that over the top of these gemstones to give them more of a gemmy look to it. So I was intrigued to see if it would work. So I'm just trying to apply it here, but you can see that my brush work isn't very good, and I'm kind of getting it all over the actual cape as well as the gemstones. So then, I just went through each one individually and just tried to coat them, and it's kind of a relaxing experience. Definitely a lot easier than painting the gemstones in the other video. And then I realized I needed to do his sporran at the front as well, so I just quickly dabbed those and did the ones on his arm. So you can't really see it here in the lighting, but there is kind of a bit more of a shine to them. They definitely kind of catch the light a lot better, so I was happy with it, but it's a subtle effect. So I thought maybe I'll try and take it outside and see, but it's actually harder to tell outside. I think the indoor lighting kind of catches a bit more. You can kind of see that it has more of a glass effect, but definitely wasn't as dramatic and pronounced as I thought it would. So overall, I would recommend doing it, but it's very subtle. I thought I'd also try the gold in the headset, and just see if that kind of makes any difference rather than just an individual gemstone. But you can see here I put way too much on my brush, so I'm just kind of trying to soak it back up. This was kind of a spur of the moment kind of idea. I think I was a bit underwhelmed by the gemstone effects, so I thought I'd do something a bit more drastic and try this out. And then I also did the collar gold pieces. My thinking was that the brass won't have this gloss effect and the gold would, to kind of make it pop. And again, you can kind of see a very subtle extra reflection, but overall, I wouldn't say this is a must-have unless I'm doing something completely wrong. So please let me know in the comments below if I'm not applying it right or I've missed the point. I've also heard that it can give a kind of a glass effect. So here I'm just applying the Ardcoat to the little visors to try and make it look like this is kind of like a, visor glass Terminator kind of red glow, rather than just having it as the red matte paint in the visor. Just because I had it out, I thought it'd be easy. Again, you can't really see anything in the outside light, but there is a very slight reflection there. I think inside you can see that the light catches it a little bit more in the angle. So yeah, subtle, but maybe not the best. So this is the Stormvermin Fur that I also got. So if you check out the video linked here for my bases, I was mixing Abaddon Black and Corax White together to create kind of a moon colored grey. But that timing took a long time to kind of mix them together in the right ratio to a level that I'm kind of happy with, and it also required more brushes because I didn't want to cross-contaminate the paint. So while I was there, I was talking to the gentleman working at the store, and he recommended this one because there's kind of a greenish tinge to the grey. So I thought that might work with the Necorn. I don't know if you caught it, but in the beginning I was applying it as very thick. So I don't know why that was. So I watered it down and I managed to apply it a bit better. So my thinking was I was going to try and paint one of the bases using this new Stormvermin Fur color and then compare it to the ones in my video that I'd done before and kind of see if it was any better or any worse. So after that layer, what I do is I paint the lighter rocks, like the bigger rocks, this lighter Rakarth Flesh color. And what I find is, like, by painting the rocks a different color, it kind of helps distinguish them from just the debris and the smaller pebbles. I had watered this one down because the other paint was very thick, and I watered this down to the same ratio, but this Rakarth Flesh is a lot thinner, so I kind of over-watered it here, which was kind of, people recommend to do it light and do multiple coats, so I wasn't too upset about it. But yeah, it's definitely interesting how the different paints have sort of a different texture. So I'm just trying to get into all the nooks and crannies. So these are just rocks that I found in my garden. I'd go through the whole process of how I put the base together, so check that out. But yeah, it's not a very high-tech base approach. So then Agrax Earthshade is what I do to try and highlight some of the darker sides in the base. And again, the person working at the Games Workshop recommended to water this down quite a lot, like maybe a 25% or 50% kind of mix to 50% water or 75% water. I don't think I did mix that down enough here, because when I was applying it, I was noticing it was very dark. And then also here, I realized that the paint hadn't dried enough, so I'm just trying to soak that back up with the brush. And then I do some dry brushing now, just to kind of get the highlights. So I use this Averland Sunset because I don't really have any other use for it, and I want to use it. But it kind of just gives it this alien kind of hue to it. I didn't know how that would interact with the greenness of the the fur paint that I put on originally. And then I just do a very quick dry brush with the Corax White, just trying to like pick just the very tops of the rocks where the light would kind of reflect, because places like the moon don't really have much of an ozone, so the light's quite harsh and can be kind of really like almost glary. So that's kind of the theme I was kind of going for. So these are my $2 Kmart brushes that I'm just using here for dry brushing. So on the left is the original one from my original video. In the middle is the one that you just saw. And on the right is one that I didn't put a wash on, just as kind of a comparison. It's hard to tell on this lighting, but honestly, it's almost indistinguishable between the original one and the new one. So I definitely think the new paint will be helpful at making things quicker, but yeah, definitely not required. Anyway, thanks for watching.